I really didn't get Lorato and her argument.
Prof.
It seems to be just around. It's like
Prof.
sprinkling water around. That's how I saw the whole argument. Because
Prof.
we are here talking about our lives, talking about a research, where somebody just brought a sample trying to find out what is in there, and if you are consuming something on daily basis, what are you really consuming? And then she comes and is like, oh, now they try to do it. We said we will do it better, blah, blah, blah. At least there are signs showing that this government is fighting illegal mining. You have a woman, somebody was saying that what was Hannah's business going to the forest? I mean, for me, it shows bravery. It shows that, yes, individuals are prepared to go and confront issues when we think
imagine all of us doing that.
Working. I mean, your government, I really didn't want to do this NDC NPP, but if you want to go that way, just to say that, look, your government promised, and for that matter, the president promised to put his presidency on the line to fight illegal mining. Here was a president who said that I am prepared to put my presidency on the line to fight illegal mining. You sanction somebody to, investigate issues of allegations of some of his own appointees engaged in illegal mining. The person brings a report to show that, look, mentioned names that these people are engaged in illegal mining. And if these same people are the people fighting the illegal miners, and while they themselves are engaged in it, then we cannot fight illegal mining. What did the president do? He kept the report in a fridge. He never made us aware about the content of the report until, I don't know whether it was a journalist or somebody, leaked the report where we got bits and pieces of the report. The same president, when Akunta Mining was being accused of engaging in illegality, the same president went to defend Akunta Mining. So how can we say that this same president was really genuinely fighting illegality? And where is that government? At least now we are seeing, Chinese nationals being arrested.
This is the first time Chinese nationals are being arrested in this country.
Shows some genuineness in fighting this issue.
When Aisha was arrested, what did we do?
Is this the first time Chinese are being arrested?
Was arrested.
Is this the first time Chinese are being arrested?
Laura, all I am saying is
the
that
first time
sometimes it's not.
Chinese were even arrested even before President
Akufo-Addo shows that you were genuinely not fighting illegal.
So where are we now?
At least there are signs.
We saw what signs? Tell us the signs.
Some miners, people were smuggling with guns.
They're smuggling what?
Smuggling
galamsey.
Gold.
We are talking about galamsey. We are talking about smuggling gold.
At least Hannah Bisu arresting, with her team.
So what about the water guards that were trained with our money? What about the Lands and Natural Resources Minister? What about the security agencies? What about the law that the LI you promised to repeal?
NDC is just in power for 6 months.
Let me ask this question.
You have been in power for 8 years.
Have we not gotten to the point where we must accept
Those are the
that
things you should be telling us.
We have to call a state of emergency on galamsey?
What happened to the ban you are calling for?
I have always said that there's a need to do that. You see, we cannot play politics with our lives. We have just shown where food that we eat are being contaminated. And everything shows that nobody can escape this, not even the president. Not even the president.
Unborn babies are not safe.
Exactly.
What to think of those of us living?
It's not about politics, but we should look at the reality.
Of course.
What use does it make if we are all sick? You go to work and you know that you yourself, that you are not well. How productive will you be? I have talked about our hospital bills going up. Go to institutions and look at their hospital bills. It's so high. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And especially when there are thousands and millions of Ghanaians who are not benefiting directly from this activity. Why do we allow ourselves? So for me, yes, this issue of state of emergency, I think it is important that we look at it. Because this is about life. This is about our existence. We cannot do politics when we are not in existence. And we cannot do politics when you are sick. In fact, you can have all the wealth in this world, but when you are sick and you are dying, everything is meaningless. And so I am of the view that as a country, as a nation, we should look at this issue of illegal money. We are just buying time. And these people who are engaged in this activity have become more hardened. Look at the number of pump action that was displayed by foreigners. This is unacceptable. And I think that as a country, the president, pardon me to go this tangent, should probably have some bilateral discussion with the Chinese government that we cannot allow there, because yes, of course, there are times because of bilateral agreement, you wouldn't want to treat a national of another country in a manner that you think can jeopardize your relationship with that country. But all they say, another country cannot just allow its citizens.
But when you have a national of a different country, you know, killing you, exactly. Not necessarily threatening your life. The person is actually murdering you. Because all these chemicals, in those days when we played the Rollins video and the Milson's video, they were not using just heavy metals like they're doing today, or in the quantities they're doing today. Today, they're killing us. So what has that got to do with in fact, Joe Wise was advising that we should use the shoot and kill policy.
Sometimes,
because
yes, you just feel as if but we cannot sit on
these people are just a quick one. Let's also ask ourselves, these people sit in China, right? Most of these places, most of these mining places are not even within the capitals, right? You are on a flight and someone gets into Accra and is going straight to all these villages. How do they know about these places? Who welcomes them?
We do.
You get it? So at the end of the day, it comes to all of us, like we've been saying for how long now. It's collective. Look, these water guards that are around, they can be everywhere. And now that this problem has gone beyond just the South and has become a national problem. And
okay, so now previously, it's like
it's now become a national security issue. If you don't, all of us don't start blowing the whistle from our communities, holding our people. Some of these things don't even need to come to the minister sitting in Accra. The DC or the MC is there. The assemblies are there. The unit committee people are there. The assembly men and women are there. The regional ministers are there. We need to give meaning also to our local governance to solve this problem.
But at least this government, we are seeing signs that shows that genuinely this illegal mining is being fought. And I think we should all support them, because it's a national disaster. It's a national issue that we all need to come on board and then support, instead of this issue of, oh, you said you will solve it, the water is still turbid. I'm sure that if you analyze the turbidity level of the water now and compare it to 2023, 2022,
oh, that's what you have to be telling us.
Would be higher.
I told you the black water is 6.4.
It is.
Has it reduced?
I am just,
are you catching? Are you not arresting the people?
Were you appreciative of the Professor Frimpong Bonte's report?
What are the things you need to?
Were you, as a government, appreciative of that report?
No, but why was the committee put in place in the first place? And what did you say? Someone leaked it. Did you go further to...
Why did it have to be leaked?
Did you go further to ask what was being done? It was being the issues in there were being addressed. Some of the interventions that were put in place were based on some of these things. Things went the way it shouldn't have gone.
How?
The report was...
How did things... No, I don't want you to gloat over it. How did things go the way...
Excavators got missing, investigations were going on, interventions were put in place, joint security task forces, this introduction of the livelihood program, right? All those interventions were put in place. So if you just want to isolate that mishap of the issue,
Professor Frimpong's what is report was to
to investigate why
it was to get to the base
of
galamsey.
Exactly.
This livelihood program that was introduced, it was just to cater for people who have been affected. That is like the soil is there and you're addressing the surface. The Professor Fimpon's Boateng's report was to deal with the problem. He was able to mention names in the report. He was able to tell us where the genesis of the problem is. That report was so good that any country who is in that problem and the president who wants to put them.
When was Professor Frimpong Boateng's report as leaked, altered? It was after he was relieved of his position as minister, right?
Oh, look at where she's now. No. Look at where she's now.
You go ahead. Let's build it. He altered that report, made a lot of accusations against people who also came and debunked those accusations. So you want to concentrate on that report. Not even the report per se, but the fallouts of the leakage of the report as against the interventions that were put in place to fight galamsey. Is that what we are talking about here? So all the interventions can be washed away because the report was leaked with a lot of accusations. Did you ever take time to look at all the work that the committee did? Operation Halt, the ban on mining, the 6 months moratorium that was given for training, the interventions. And when you say that the livelihood empowerment thing was just a small thing to give, I don't think it was such a small thing to do.
What problem
was it? To reclaim the land and also give alternative livelihoods to these young people within the mining area so they don't go into doing
what was the result of it?
What was the
success rate
of it? That is something we can change. It's an institution that is
so there. I need a success rate. What was the success
rate? You can't be asking me the success rate when you didn't
tell you that I was going to.
I don't.
I told you we're going to talk about galamsey.
You go.
You see, all what she's saying is
the point is, I have also always maintained, and I'll repeat this, this has become more moral than even the technical issues that we are dealing with. But the other thing is, I've also maintained that it's a collective responsibility. All of us as citizens should be able to draw attention of authority to whatever is being done in there. But my point to Prof, as someone representing government on this set today, if I tell you that prior to our discussion here, mercury levels in the black and white water was said to be about 6.4 micrograms per liter against the WHO's 1 microgram per liter. Prof should be telling me that that has reduced to 5 or 4 or 6 because of the interventions that are in there.
Okay.
Prof must be telling me that the water guards have done this. Prof must be telling me that the LI 2462.
Do you know how long it took for this contamination to reach
have amended?
Do you know how long it took for this contamination level to reach where it is today?
No matter how small, we know that. Why did interventions start changing?
No.
Right? Why did we move to trying to get technology to deal with these things? Why were we having discussions on trying to find capital for these small-scale miners so they don't rely on foreigners for capital?
Okay,
right.
So
but we did all these things. Ghanaian said, what the NDC is putting up to us are better and sound better and can solve the problem better. So they voted for you. So that is what I'm asking of you, not to make it MPP and
Okay,
I'll be the last person to politicize health, education, and our social issues.
I think you are getting things wrong. You are getting things wrong.
You've been saying I'm getting things wrong for.
Why? Because, you know, she's saying that I should be telling us that mercury level in the white water was 6.
You are the one now getting it wrong.
I should be telling that it has reduced. Now, these are contaminants that you do not, it does not easily break down overnight. It takes a very long time. That is why we are referring to them as heavy metals. When they get in there, they stay in there for a very long time. They do not degrade. So the fact that you have kept it there. It is now set.
If you knew this before
when
election.
we come,
Sorry,
you knew this before
you said
election.
metals don't degrade.
It's not something.
Do we have any?
You knew this
do we have
throughout the
any
campaign
process
period?
that it can be extracted from?
Yes, there are
the
so
system,
many.
the
Yes, so that is
soil,
why.
the
Yes,
water.
that is why I keep on saying that. Yes, we are talking about we need to remediate, or we need to reclaim our land. It is not just about covering pits and then planting trees and that is all. If you do that, yes, you have solved some problem by covering pits, but you have not really removed the metals.
Do we have trees that extract metals of this nature from the soil?
Yes, there are some plants that bioremediate, or they absorb. They are called hyperaccumulators. Yes. They are hyperaccumulators. They accumulate these pollutants from the soil. And I keep on saying that it is not just enough to even plant hyperaccumulators, but you need to consciously harvest these plants and destroy them appropriately, because if you leave them there, they just accumulate. They accumulate and they keep them in their tissue. If they died, they reintroduce the contaminant back into the soil. So we need to bioremediate by planting these hyperaccumulators and then harvest these and dispose them properly before we then maybe plant trees, and then maybe farmers also start going to the field to farm. But if we just cover the pit and just plant trees, yes, the plants will grow.